Listen, I know what you're thinking. Cross, I've been using the same stuff to wash my face with for years. Let me ask you, have you looked at the ingredients? Turns out, we've got some toxic stuff on the market. Now, since I'm north of 30, getting the right stuff really does start to matter. And Geology takes it to a whole nother level. You can literally feel the product as you're applying it, starting with the face wash, which feels like the nectar of the gods. Literally, feels like honey. Like I feel like I'm putting honey on my face. And that's because it's infused with vitamin C. Then afterwards, I apply the Vital Morning Face Cream, which nourishes every single pore on my skin. Eye cream, which targets those dark circles from when we're grinding all night, as well as a repairing night cream, which even helps you sleep. Guys, this product sells itself. I was set in my ways for the longest of time, never deviating from old products that I've been using forever. But if there's two things you can take away from all of our streams and all of our videos, number one, skincare is vitally important. And number two, rectal examinations need to become part of your life if you are north of 30 years old. I know those two things seem like they have nothing to do with each other, but you'd be surprised. Guys, feel free to check out the link down below. You can also use code Aztecross70 for a 70% discount. On top of that, Geology is offering us a 50% discount on an additional product of your choice. This is by far the cleanest and the best my face has ever felt. Patch notes! Destiny 2 Update 7.0.5.0. Activities. Seasonal Battlegrounds. Fix an issue where the consecrated essence could appear duplicated. Crucible added a new 6v6 connection-based matchmaking CBMM weekly rotator, which includes Clash, Zone Control, and Rift. The existing 6v6 party rotator is now Mayhem, Momentum Control, and Scorch. Updated tutorial Crucible quests to reflect changes to available playlists. Also added a metric showing off your competitive division rank. Ah, yes, that's why we're trying to get that high rank. Ascended competitive division players can now purchase an emblem from Shax. We are so close. We're like 150 points off. Fixed Errant Glorious and Dredgen Award and Gilding. All players must reclaim and re-guild their titles if they have completed the requisite triumphs. Also increase the strength of the respawn overshield in Crucible. How about we just fix spawns too? In Rift, activating grapple no longer drops the spark. And in Rift, wow, whoa. Activating grapple no longer drops the spark. That's going to be really good, guys. And also in Rift, players can no longer dunk the spark while moving faster than 15 meters per second or while using a grapple ability. Wait, what? So it's anti-sword. I don't know what a shoulder charge is up to. All right, we're going to have to test that out. I will say in one sentence, grapple no longer drops the spark. Sounded really, really good. But within the same sentence, you can no longer dunk the spark while moving faster than 15 meters per second or while using a grapple ability. That's strange. All right. Vanguard Ops. Legend difficulty Defiant Battlegrounds now rotates their weekly overcharge weekly. Rotates their weapon overcharge weekly. Defeating Tormentors now provides revive tokens like Champions and Hive Guardians in some activities. Fix Hive door locks in Heist Battlegrounds to behave the same in all versions of the activity. Turn difficulty in Heist Battlegrounds present in Vanguard Nightfall playlist. Tune difficulty in Heist Battlegrounds present in the Vanguard Nightfall playlist. Fix an issue where a crash could rarely occur shortly after picking up the first solar cell in the arms dealer. Fix an issue where the arms dealer enemies, which continually spawn to drop required solar cells, could be farmed limitlessly for points. Definitely trying to keep the points down. Raids in dungeon. Fix an issue in the Duality dungeon where Nightmare of Galaran could not teleport back to the encounter space after falling out of the environment. That was a beautiful bug. Fix an issue where checkpoints were shared between Legend and Master Mode for raids and dungeons. Fix an issue in the Root of Nightmares where decision encounters would sometimes soft lock, preventing progress. Fix an issue in the Root of Nightmares where sometimes the intended screen VFX did not play when players failed the encounter. Fix an issue in Root of Nightmares where Nezarec will sometimes not cast a wipe when intended. Exotic mission. Fix an issue where players could sometimes get pushed through walls by Vex traps and then get stuck there. Oh. Gameplay and investment. Armor. Fix an issue where Peacekeeper's reload perk wouldn't activate after you stowed an energy slot SMG. Fix an issue where Phoenix Cradle was not consistently extending the duration of Sol Invictus buff while Burning Maul was equipped. Really? By the way, one of you dropped by our tier list video for Titans and said that Phoenix Cradle is S tier and that I wrongfully placed it in the wrong tier and that I need to try it out again. We'll try it again. And if this is the case, extending the duration of Sol Invictus, we'll give it a go. Weapon. Fix an issue where certain Gambit weapons were not contributing to the Dark Age Arsenal Triumph. PV primary weapon balance. Increase the damage of the following weapon types against red and orange bar enemies in PvE. Auto rifles, 25%. Pulse rifles, hand cannons, and sidearms, 20%. Scout rifles, 10%. Guys, keep in mind, this is across the board. These are exotics too. All right. Weapon archetypes, submachine guns, Ikelos SMGs. Remove some tuning in the custom scope that was causing this weapon to have significantly less recoil than intended. The recoil is now in line with other aggressive SMGs. All right. Hand cannons. Fix an issue causing the Adept Exalted Truth to have a lower magazine size than the standard version. Fusion rifles. Oh boy, here's the big one. Rapid fires. Per burst, 245 to 260. Per bolt, 27.2 to 28.9. Everyone is saying that rapid fire fusions are about to be meta. And this is coming from, like, I think Lego said it as well. He's a fantastic fusion rifle user. But from what I was told, likely suspect is one that's going to be really, really good. Iterative loop is also going to be really, really good. Cartesian. What's the Garden of Salvation one though? Zealot. Guys, if you have a God Bro Zealots, try it out. All right. I'm not saying Riptide. Riptide to me is, I like it more for PvE. Okay, so you can give Riptide a go, but yeah. Zealot should be pumping, dude. By the way, though, the damage in PvE is unchanged. Now, trace rifles. Increase base damage by 4%. Base damage goes from 12 to 12.5. Reduce the precision hit multiplier from 1.4 to 1.35. Crit damage goes from 16.8 to 16.9. Also reduce flinch by 10% at 100 stability stats. Scales down at lower values. Now, you're probably like, dude, that's only 10%. You're right. But most trace rifles, especially your exotics, have great stability, guys. So we'll have to give this a go and see how much of a difference this makes. It's incremental changes here, though, guys, in trace rifles that can make a big difference in time to kill. So keep that in mind. Sniper rifles, rapid fire sniper rifles, reduce recoil by 50%. Also, increase total ammunition magazine plus reserves by 30%. Now, this is just reducing the recoil. This is not reducing flinch, you know, or actually allowing you to have more flinch resist. This is just reducing the recoil of hitting consecutive shots. Now, with that being said, if you play Trials this weekend, you probably saw how potent Cloud Strike is. So if you have to get that follow-up shot, it's going to be easier. Secondly, the increase in total ammunition magazine plus reserves by 30%, that is definitely going to put something like Cloud Strike on the menu in terms of DPS. It's going to be very good. Now, heavy grenade launchers. Fix an issue where the Omlon heavy grenade launchers were missing their VFX. Fix an issue where dimensional hypotrochoid could be obtained with a ranged master. This fix prevents the weapon from dropping with range and changes any existing copies with the range to the equivalent handling tier. Now, exotic weapons. These are the changes directly to our exotics. Final warning, can no longer mark targets through time barricades. Teraba. Reduce the amount of Ravenous Beast energy generated when taking damage from 3% to 1%. That is a massive nerf. Guys, that is I'm talking just a slap. Also, reduce zoom from 16 to 15. That's huge. That is huge. We're going to play with Teraba at some point this week, but that is a big nerf. Now, where Teraba really thrives, it doesn't really thrive in an elim environment as much for me. But in 6v6, it's very potent. In comp, it's actually really good because engagements, like especially like things like Survival or Showdown or even Rift, where engagements are running into one to another. So as long as you can get that ball rolling, Teraba really, really starts to pop. This is the big one, guys. This is the juice. This is what we're going to be using in this week's GM. Hopefully, we have Barrier Champions. Revision 0. Fourth time's the charm will now reset when entering Hunter's Trace. This will prevent an issue of firing a single shot while in Hunter's Trace and being forcibly returned to pulse mode when 4 times the charm activates. We did a deep dive review of this, but essentially, guys, this was causing a bug that would mess the weapon up, but also simultaneously, where you could shoot 8 rounds in its sniper rifle form, you will not be able to do that with Revision 0. However, they're increasing the PvE damage of Hunter's Trace rounds, that's the sniper rifle rounds, by 25%. They're also increasing the PvE damage of the Hockey Heavy Burst round, which is the 2-round burst mode, by a whopping 75%. Guys, keep in mind, this is on top of the Pulse Rifle 20% damage buff, or it should be. We're going to test this today. But 20% damage buff to Revision 0 on top of the buff that's being handed out here to Revision directly. So, wish we had the quest. Look no further. Next season. Is it next season, guys? Are we getting the exotic quest rotator next season, or is that season 22? Is that the next season? All right, so it's not next season. It's gonna be the season after. Perks fix an issue in which the enhanced version of the Wellspring perk generated too little energy when the player had any number of charged abilities. All right, so we're getting a Wellspring buff. Interesting. Other changes: added the capability to upgrade Root of Nightmare's Adept weapons with enhanced traits. If you have unlocked Deep Sight on weapons, an enhanced socket will be available to perform this upgrade in the weapon detail screen. Oh, wait, if you have unlocked Deep Sight on weapons, an enhanced socket will be available to perform. All right, we're going to test this out today. Fix tooltips for master dungeons to properly list Artifice armor as rewards. Now, listen, the main thing is, this is why you wanted to keep your Adept weapons retroactively. You will be able to update this today. You'll be able to go in there and actually enhance those traits, and you'll be able to change out the barrel perks, the mag perks, and the masterwork. Okay. Now, what is going to be the resources required? I don't know. We're going to have to just see in just a second. Okay. All right. Abilities. Rally Barricade. The area of effect now extends slightly further behind and above the Rally Barricade to make staying in the buff area more achievable, especially on uneven terrain. All right. So the reload buffs. Fix an issue where stasis shards created by the Glacial Harvest aspect would not grant melee ability energy to Penumbral Blast if the player had a sword or glaive ready. All right, so just the buff. Fix an issue where Jolt Chain Lightning was unable to target some types of PvE combatants. Interesting. Fix an issue where trying to throw rapidly while carrying a tangle could result in an uncharged melee attack. Huh. Okay. Bounties and Pursuits fix an issue where players couldn't interact with the evidence board after the exotic glaive pursuit is completed. Now, some general changes. Added the best dress commendation. Fix an issue where the objective to complete a dungeon solo spelunker does not count completions from before the player is Guardian rank 10. Oh, so if you've actually done solo dungeon, it should count now. Fix an issue where the objective to complete the raid on master difficulty does not count completions from before the player is Guardian rank 10. Players who have crafted their first exotic glaive from the Witch Queen can now claim the patterns for their other characters from the evidence board. TLDR though, or spoilers, they're all shit. So you can still get them if you're just a completionist player. But keep in mind, if you're like, yo, I finally have a Hunter exotic glaive, it's ass, man. It's ass. Veteran players now receive the correct amount of lore books when they reach Guardian rank 7 for the first time, and fix an issue where players are blocked from progressing past Guardian rank 3 if they previously bought all available subclass aspects. All right, that's your patch notes, guys. Let's get into the game.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.